Hello everybody, it is July 10th, and in this video we're going to talk about some important news in the crypto space today that's definitely worthy of your attention. Just a bunch of articles and metrics that we need to talk about just to kind of have a better understanding on the market. And we keep doing these videos almost every day now, just to give you a quick update on the market, very short analysis, and see basically whatever the market is telling us today. So we're going to talk about, I guess it's a bit of a funny story as well, but a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund backing hunt for a hard drive containing nearly 400 million worth of Bitcoin, which I thought is a bit funny to see. We have Bitcoin metrics seeing hell of a bounce in a move which historically heralds Bitcoin's price bottom, and as well GBTC unlocking. So we have almost on July 18th 16,240 Bitcoins that are going to be unlocked from Grayscale's Bitcoin fund. So what does that mean for the market? Is it going to have some additional selling pressure? Are we going to break the 30,000 because of that or not? There's some conflicting opinions in the market about that. So it's definitely something worth to talk about as well. Bitcoin futures funding rates are negative after May's crash, the longest period since March 2020. We're going to talk about that as well. TikTok, which is not really that crazy, but TikTok banning crypto ads, but there's a reason to believe it won't last. Same thing we had almost 2 months ago with Google retracing on that and basically allowing those ads. I think that was almost a month or a month and a half ago. So it was some sort of big news, but again, overall, they don't want people to post on fraudulent scams, and Google users or Facebook users or TikTok specifically actually being that target against those scams. So again, crypto options turning more mainstream. DeFi protocol Synthetics optimistic about July layer 2 launch, and AXIE Infinity, which is actually pretty big right now. You guys always hear us talk about the same thing about NFTs. I think NFTs are gonna hold the whole crypto space on its back, regardless of what's happening with Bitcoin, just because the use case is a lot more profitable than what's happening in the crypto space overall. Even if Bitcoin is bearish, I think the use case for NFTs will definitely bring a lot of profits outside of that price action for Bitcoin overall. So AXIE Infinity setting all-time highs as Ethereum-based NFT game goes viral, and again, more and more countries adopting Bitcoin. Paraguayan lawmakers to present Bitcoin bill on July 14th has a bit of more of a positive sentiment to it. We have here, I am here to unite Paraguay. This is why we decided with Senator Silva Fachidi, I think that's what the last name is, to present together the bill for Bitcoin Wednesday. Giant news coming, all of that, and yeah, looks like there's some projects that are going to include Bitcoin in the as part of the overall, I guess, process, for a lack of better words. So again, we're going to talk about that. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon just to get notified of all these new uploads. We're going to have this every day, short and quick analysis of the market. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. So let's delve into the news right now. A multi-billion-dollar hedge fund backs hunt for hard drive containing nearly 400 million worth of Bitcoin. So I hate to be this guy. James Howells, a British IT professional, shocked many when he reported that he threw away a computer hard drive in which 382 million worth of Bitcoins have been stored. He accidentally threw it away in 2013 when cleaning his workplace. At that time, the Bitcoins in the hard disk were worth 4.6 million when he threw them away in a dustbin. Oh man. However, Howells now has a sigh of relief because his request for funding to search for the hard drive in the past waste heaps has been accepted. He will now be given funds by a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund company to try recovering the hard drive and the Bitcoins from the landfill located in Newport, Wales. The company will then take some amount of his fortune once recovered. And there's so many of those stories where people back in the day had some bought some Bitcoin for dirt cheap basically, and yeah, they either don't know the password of their wallets, or they lost the wallets, or they didn't know where it's at. And yeah, you probably got a bunch of landfills with the old computers and hard drives that contains so many Bitcoins, right? So I guess I don't know what happens with those, but you'll definitely see some more and more people actually try to hunt for some of that, right? So it's definitely pretty funny to see. So now I guess more on a serious note, Bitcoin metrics seeing hell of a bounce in a move which historically heralds Bitcoin's price bottom. Advancing Puel and hash rate is a good sign. It has served extremely well as an indicator of when Bitcoin price tops and bottoms are likely due, and in late June dipped into into its green buy zone for only the 5th time in history. So the Puel multiple, this is basically it. You can go, you can literally just search on Google for the Puel multiple and you'll find the graph actually posted there. But it's basically a simple equation taking the daily coin issuance in terms of USD and dividing that by the daily coin issuance moving average on the yearly. So again, the indicator, this metric looks at the supply side of Bitcoin's economy, Bitcoin miners and their revenue. It explores market cycles from a mining revenue perspective. Bitcoin miners are sometimes referred to as a compulsory sellers, obviously due to their need to recover fixed cost of mining hardware in the market where price is extremely volatile. The revenue they generate can therefore influence price over time. We know that. The Puel multiple is calculated by dividing the daily issuance value of Bitcoin in USD by the 365-day moving average of the daily issuance value. And this was basically happening here. So they're saying largely down to the difficulty adjustment and increase in hash rate. We will be a good sign if we see this and hash rate continue to climb quickly as Bitcoin miners come back on board. A reversal for the Puel, meanwhile, could herald a definitive macro Bitcoin price floor as traders and analysts, Rect Capital recently observed. Dips into the green zone tend to be followed soon afterwards by Bitcoin BTC USD bottom. So basically, overall, every time you'll see here 2012, closer to 2015 as well, and 2019, I believe, is always followed whenever we enter this green zone. It influences the market. So again, with this, the data could be easily fitted, right? You can always find some sort of correlation, but again, it's just showing you just some sort of an idea of where we're sitting right now in terms of historical data. And it looks like, we're entering this green zone after some sort of a dip, and I wouldn't really call it a dip. It's more like a 55% decrease in price action. So whenever we enter the zone, look like we always moved afterwards. And now with whatever's happening with China and the miners and how they got banned from mining, we want to see if the European market or the North American market or the South American market will start absorbing that mining power, and we'll see more and more miners actually finding it easier to mine Bitcoin, difficulty for Bitcoin decreasing. So it's a bit healthy for the market, in my opinion. Definitely when there's almost 60% of that, 60 to 70% of that mining hash rate and was actually located in China. So definitely posing a lot of risk in terms of regulation. If regulations hits, then the pillar of the Bitcoin network starts to kind of get a bit shaky, right? So again, negative news from China all for the past 2 months, 2 months and a half, and again, overall it is actually good for Bitcoin. So we're in that green zone. We'll see if that actually happens or not, if the market responds to it. But again, historically speaking, we're looking at that we are actually sitting in that green zone. So again, playing down grayscale unlocking. So Bitcoin price action is seeing strength as the weekend progresses, something which could nonetheless result in a reversal in line with recent short-term trends. The upcoming grayscale unlocking event remains a topic of conversation, but opinions differ. The market is polarized in terms of that as to whether Bitcoin USD will be actually affected. So overall, GBTC unlock edges closer as impact on Bitcoin price remains unclear. We're seeing here a total of nearly 40,000 Bitcoins will be unlocked in July. So it got locked in the beginning of the year. And yeah, it's almost on July 18th. We have 16,240 Bitcoins that will be unlocked where, people want to sell it or want to buy more. It depends, right? We don't really know what's going to happen, but again, nearly 40,000 Bitcoins will be unlocked in July, amounting to nearly 1.5 billion in notional value. The biggest of these unlocks will be on July 18th, when 16,240 Bitcoins will be available due to the release of a 6-month lock period for GBTC shares. The tranche of shares consists of positions locked in Q1 of 2021 with a notional value of around 530 million. Making it the largest GBTC unlocking event to date. And yeah, basically Grayscale, if you know what Grayscale is, it's an investment as one of the largest institutional fund managers for digital currencies that allows institutional investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin's price action through GBTC shares. So it's more regulated, it's more secure if you want to gain access to Bitcoin without really entering that crypto market. This is basically a representation of it. So the upcoming GBTC unlocks are a function of private placement done 6 months ago when premiums to spot were closer to 30%. These trades were likely accompanied by a corresponding BTC short leg, and if anything, the unwinding of these Bitcoin shorts would translate into buying pressure. What's also different today is that the absence of a new the absence of new private placements, thereby reducing potential fresh shorting of spot BTC. So if you don't know what the GBTC premium is, it's the difference between the value of assets, example, Bitcoin held in by the trust in comparison with the market price of these holdings. This premium exists due to the institutional demand that drives the GBTC fund that offers a regulated exchange-traded method of gaining exposure to Bitcoin. So again, the goal is always to buy low and sell high. The GBTC premium became extremely high and was severely overbought, a result of intense demand and institutional interest, which we already saw. Now interest has declined in line with the premium, but it may return once the unlockings are over and institutions look to gain more exposure at discounts. So we want to see what's going to happen in the market when that actually come out. But again, some people think that overall, some analysts think that that's actually going to add more selling pressure to Bitcoin. Others say it's more neutral. Others say it's actually more bullish. So we want to see how that plays out in the market, but you definitely need to pay attention to it. Again, so Bitcoin futures funding rates are now negative after May's crash, the longest period since March 2020. If you don't know what the funding rate basically of that, so due to the fact that perpetual futures has no expiration date and are trading 24/7, there could be a diversion between the perpetual contract price and the asset's spot price, the actual real price of the asset. So to synchronize between the two, exchanges are charging fund rates in a zero-sum game. When the funding rates are positive, long positions will pay shorts the funding amount. In case of a negative funding rate, shorts pay the longs. So since the May 19th crash, Bitcoin has been trapped inside a broader range between the 30K and the 42K. However, over the past weeks, the primary cryptocurrency is mostly trading around the lower half of the mentioned range. So again, what we mean by that, we're going to get to that point. So that said, there's a theory that suggests that such periods of low price volatility, which naturally carry minor trading volume, have often been followed by large breakouts, though this is no guarantee of an upcoming boom. So again, March, April 2020, these are the funding rates that we have on the perpetual contracts, extended period of negative funding rate. And again, now we've been in that funding rate, obviously not as bad as this, but after a Bitcoin drop here, with a Bitcoin drop here, it caused, we go sideways for a bit, we range, we've been ranging since midway through April, and now looks like, some volatility might be coming. Now, is it to the upside or the downside? We are more bullish on it. We think overall that's gonna cause some sort of an uptick in the market. But again, we don't want to assume. We want to see the market actually talk to us first and see how that plays out. And again, fundamentals causing the recent price pessimism. The market crash that spurred the recent bear market was preceded by a wave of negative media coverage about Bitcoin on all fronts. We saw that from an environmental standpoint, sustainability, and overall sustainability to price volatility to news of authoritarian crackdowns. That said, with China weeding mining operations out of the country as of late, there's also a technical reason to believe Bitcoin's price will take time to recover. The sudden loss of hash power on the network will allow existing miners to produce more coins on the network for the same amount of energy, hence reducing each Bitcoin's production cost and in theory its price. So again, a lot of crackdowns in China causing miners to migrate outside of China, selling, a lot of sell pressure, especially on that first day where we saw Bitcoin drop over here. So you'll see, I'll just switch it here to the daily. Again, this is exactly the day where we had that outage in China and those coal mines, I guess, and it caused the Bitcoin hash rate to plummet, again causing a lot of selling pressure in the market. And ever since, we've been really downtrending heavy with all the news about Bitcoin sustainability, Bitcoin being actually clean, using clean energy to be mined or renewable energy. And ever since, we're seeing a lot of those miners actually migrate. Kazakhstan specifically as a first stop, but then again also in Texas, US, where there's a lot of incentive for use of clean power to mine. So we're going to see how that plays out. And again, in my opinion, crackdowns in China on mining power will actually allow the smaller miner, and it diversifies that mining power and hash rate overall. So it makes it a bit more decentralized as well. So that's for Bitcoin futures as well. TikTok banning crypto ads, but there's a reason to believe it will last. It won't last. TikTok, a popular video sharing focused social media platform, has banned all promotional content relating to cryptocurrencies on its platform. So there's hope that the ban may be toned down in the future to more regulated monitoring of the content pushed on the platform. Recall that other large internet companies, including Google and Facebook, who previously banned cryptocurrency related ads, are currently rolling back to allowing certain kind of crypto promotions. Google last month lifted its nearly 3-year-old ban on cryptocurrency exchange promotional content. Their latest policy update will allow cryptocurrency exchanges and wallets that have some form of regulation to use their ad service from August 3rd of this year. So again, Facebook as well has also lifted a similar ban on cryptocurrency to May in 2018, because if you're the biggest social media platform, you want to have some sort of monitoring or regulation of what actually will be advertised on the platform. And again, Facebook and Google and TikTok would have or hold some sort of liability against that. So they want to make sure their users are not getting scammed, basically. Overall, again, crypto options are turning mainstream. We have here institutional frenzy for options in crypto. As institutional interest continues to grow for the cryptocurrency market, so has institutional appetite for crypto options. Strategic investors have found refuge in the idea that options allow them to capitalize on the volatility of crypto markets to capture high profits, while at the same time keeping them away from higher risk investments. So the volatile nature of crypto markets creates an urgent need for investors to be able to diversify their strategies and hedge their positions while still getting exposure to the upside. Option market have given investors a chance to play the field, invest strategically, and study the market, even during what some are calling a bear market. This has kept activity high. So we're seeing more and more retail demand, institutional demand, and overall, specifically for options, because you're really getting that exposure to it without really being in that market specifically. Besides the point, DeFi protocol Synthetics optimistic about July layer 2 launch. We're seeing a lot of we saw the price pump for Synthetics for SNX recently. Here we have transitioning Synthetics to optimistic Ethereum is without a doubt one of the most important milestones in history of the project. Every Spartan should be ready to hold the line as we advance on this incredible new territory. That's Kane Warwick said. He's the Synthetics founder, and they're basically saying the initial Synthetics assets supported on Layer 2 exchange will be sETH, BTC, and Link. The price feed for SNX will also be deployed by Chainlink. And following the late July launch of the initial group of synthetic assets, the platform will be expanded to include a much wider range of assets and synthetic futures. So the collaboration between Synthetics and Optimism communities has helped to make optimistic Ethereum one of the most battle-tested Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solutions, and every bug that gets surfaced and addressed now during this beta phase is an issue that won't be surfaced with the public mainnet. So that's when we saw SNX price pumping. DeFi protocol native token SNX has reacted positively to the launch date announcement, and at the time of the writing, which was what do we have here? Today in the morning, actually, what do we have? Synthetics reacted positively to the launch date, and it was up 12% on the day at 11.12 cents, which I think is seeing some sort of retracement at the moment. But again, a lot of optimism in the market. Synthetics acting as a second layer, working on that second layer solution, and it's going to be a layer 2 exchange, and we're going to see a lot of optimism in the market for that, and we're definitely seeing more buying appetite as that actually grows and as we get closer to that date. Again, AXIE Infinity sets all-time highs as Ethereum-based NFT game goes viral. We're seeing here AXIE Infinity's AXIE token rose by 45% overnight, hitting an all-time high price of $18.34. AXIE Infinity is a Pokemon-inspired open-world game on Windows, Mac, and iOS and Android, where players raise, train, and battle adorable little tokenized monsters called AXIEs. The game blew up towards the end of June and now boasts more than 250,000 daily active players. And that's the thing, guys. NFTs are the future, in my opinion. That's where the majority of the use case will be, and that's where the mainstream adoption will come into play. And we're seeing that play out a lot with a lot of artists, a lot of musicians, a lot of the game developers. Marvel recently was talking about launching their own NFTs, singers, hip-hop artists, and We're seeing, regardless of what's happening, the consumer does not care or doesn't even know a lot about crypto, but the use case is providing that connection between the creator of that game, the music, the painting, and to connect with the audience more. And we're seeing money flooding into the market because of that. So the most expensive AXIE ever sold came to 300 ETH, or about $633,000 in today's prices. Today's spikes follows a turbulent week of gaming coins. Just yesterday, the top 3 blockchain gaming tokens, AXS, Mana, and Sand, were all crashing after enjoying a 7-day rally. Upcoming open world platform, the Sandbox Sand token, is worth 52 cents at the time of writing, having grown in price by 33% overnight, while Decentraland's Mana token enjoyed an 18% surge to hit a new price of 75 cents. So blockchain gaming is a niche market with various economic and technological barriers to entry, but this week's surging interest could indicate a bright future. And guys, last but not least, Paraguayan lawmakers to present Bitcoin's bill on July 14th. So El Salvador's decision to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender in June appears to be influencing lawmakers across the region to begin exploring their own cryptocurrency strategy. Paraguay is next in line to introduce the new crypto-focused legislation. So the Paraguayan Congressman Carlitos Rejala and Senator Fernando Silva Fichiri are planning to introduce a Bitcoin bill to Congress on Wednesday, July 14th. So that's in 4 days, underscoring the lawmakers' urgency in formulating a coherent digital asset strategy for the country. So we're seeing the dominoes effect right now in South America, I guess, with El Salvador just putting literally all the chips on the table and going all in. We're seeing that other countries are also starting to adopt the same strategy, and the more countries come in, the more pressure there will be globally on having a bit of a strategic plan for crypto currencies overall. So although Rejal didn't specify what the bill would entail, some lawmakers in the country want to follow El Salvador's lead in making Bitcoin legal tender. On June 6, Rejala informed his more than 50,000 Twitter followers that digital assets would be connected to an important project to innovate Paraguay in front of the world. And based on Rejala's previous statement, the forthcoming bill will introduce measures to make Paraguay leading a center for foreign cryptocurrency investors, businesses, and perhaps even Bitcoin miners. Potentially, this will include provisions to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender. So that's what we're seeing, guys. Again, we're in a period right now with Bitcoin where we've been going sideways for a while. A lot of factors in the game. It's a huge chess game, and a lot of players, a lot of different interests, a lot of big world powers have their own interest in it, and we're seeing that being reflected on the current market. And that's what it is, because we're going more global. There's a lot more players in the game, and with their own interest, they will affect the market overall. So that's what Bitcoin's doing right now. Price action is still going sideways. Again, we're above the support. We need to hold this range above the 31,000, 32,000. But again, no matter what happens, guys, adoption is there. We're seeing the use cases there. And it's not only that Bitcoin is just what cryptocurrency is fully all about. There's a lot more out there that cryptocurrencies are doing and actually affecting the market profitably. So again, we need to keep that in mind. But anyways, I don't want to keep this video too long. I'm pushing probably 20 minutes right now. So again, let me know if you have any questions, or if you like the video. Press that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And again, if you've been subscribed to the channel, then thank you for watching. And let me know any comments, any feedback, and we will definitely take that into account. So thank you for watching and have a great day.